Hi, everybody. We'll start here in a few moments. Let's give everybody a chance to get on and tell a fun story. Then we'll get you on to bed tonight. Or go to bed when you want to. You're grown people. Unless you're at Royster, then you need to get your rest, okay? Have a productive day tomorrow. Making sure it's coming through on Twitter right now. Call popping through. Not coming through on Twitter right now for some reason. Come on, Twitter. All right. All right, we'll get started here. Thanks for joining us tonight. Get started off real quick, a little China Grove. And one thing I've been trying to get done, I have a few days that I've been trying to get all our garage cleaned out, and I cannot throw anything away. It amazes me on how I try to keep things, because it don't matter what it is. Today, I found football film from Colgan from 2004. I had to come right in the house and watch some of it. I found an old bench press video I did back at Fort Scott. That's kind of a fun little topic for a different time. But it don't matter if it's something from the kids' potty chair, which you think that'd be something we want to throw out, right? Everything is special because it brings back memories. Memories are like your precious. It's like your security blanket. And so it's so hard to get rid of something or pass something on or even throw something away, because you think it always comes back to something that's precious in your life. And I have something about that tonight I'd like to share with you. And also, I never throw away toys. If you ever seen Toy Story 3, you just don't throw away toys. Going down that one belt, they're all holding hands and they're getting ready to go into the inferno. Like, no. You find a place to repurpose toys, find a way, but don't throw toys away. I just can't visualize that in my head. But you're not here for that tonight. Dreams is something I like to talk about. And let's just be honest, I have the weirdest title for a live stream series, vlog, whatever you want to call it, because every piece of the title triggers something deep in my heart. Let's start with sun chip dust. What's that even mean? In high school, my very best friends, we used to drive around, visit, carry on, fall in the wall, always fall in the wall. But we would grab a bag of sun chips and just hit the gravel roads. And we'd pass sun chips around, and as this our chip of choice. Okay, Doritos are great and everything, but we were really more interested in sun chips. And Keith and Pat and Jay and Jody and everybody else, and there's so many more, Brian. And but the main thing is that we really valued our friendship and our time together. And those sun chips, we'd pass them around, and we would get the last of the bag. Like somebody passed me something, all dust. You left with sun chip dust? And that was kind of an inside joke we had. So sun chip dust to me means something like going back in time, going back to that special place. What's funny is sometimes we don't, the good times always kind of stick out. Going to college, man, it's a struggle. Gosh dang, I was trying to work. I was trying to help out and still be a good son to my parents, and as coaching football. And it was a great time of life. And it was a struggle at times. It was a struggle a lot of times, financially, trying to make it, all these things, academically. But when I think back to college, I only think of the good times. When I think back to high school, I just think of the good times. The past schools I've been at, I've been so blessed to be at so many wonderful schools. And all I do, I think back and think of the good times. And that's what's kind of this is about tonight. We want to think back and you want to cherish those good times. And if you have something that symbolizes that time, hold it true to your heart. Just hold on to it. The second part of the title is broken plays. As an old football coach, recovering football coach, a football coach who's better every single day that's not a coach. It's so funny. We have an outstanding coach here at Chanute, Cleet Frizzell, and I always talk to him like, coach, I'm a much better coach than I was back then. Every day I don't coach, I get that much better in my mind because you're always that much better, but I don't remember the big plays as much as the broken plays, the plays that didn't work, because I learned so much more from the broken plays than I did the successful plays. And so that's kind of where that title comes in, that broken plays concept. And so I always want to value those broken plays and say, hey, life is going to be full of broken plays. And what are you going to do about it? You're going to pick up your bootstraps, you're going to lace them up, and you're going to get right back, and you're going to keep working hard. You're going to find out what happened. I used to have back when I was a young teacher, I'd have some craptastic days or craptastic classes. And it was those classes that drove me to be a better teacher. I'd go back to work. I'd work all that night, trying to make it the best I could. And that's what I valued so much. And then chasing greatness dreams, you know what? That's what we're all about, isn't it? We're just trying to be the best you. You know what? All you can be is your best you. But chasing greatness is all about the journey. It's all about like a vision quest. And it's not about a destination. If you ever think if you reach greatness, either you're delusional or it's time to move on to something more challenging. So, but I'm so blessed to be in education, and because I know in education I'm gonna have a chance to chase greatness every day and every way for the kids I serve and the incredible teachers I serve. So tonight I was going to take a moment talking about those things in your life that bring back those memories. I talk about dreams with kids all the time. I like to maybe next week I talk about another dream dream theme, but I like to go into classrooms. I love to talk to kids about what's your passion, like what gets you excited, like what's going to make you wake up in the morning and go hard every day. And what's funny is you talk to a first grader, and a first grader is going to be so much different than a freshman. And I love hearing the perspectives. At Diamond High School, at Diamond Schools in Missouri, I had such an honor being there and serving that wonderful community. But our elementary, middle school, and high school are all in a row. And so I was able to visit all these buildings all the time. I loved going to the middle school back then. I loved going to all of the high school principal. I loved visiting the elementary, reading the classes, and more importantly, getting our kids in those classes, because I see it so many times, and it's everywhere, guys. It's not a town situation or a school situation. Along the way, kids lose that glow, that spark, that sparkle of what their dream is. And this story I'm going to tell you tonight is about that. It's about, I think what drove me to middle school more than anything was I kind of pinpointed an age, because so many kids, they come in as freshmen, they've lost that sparkle. So many have lost that sparkle, and it's so hard to get it back. But you go to the same kind of kids, same demographic kids, go to elementary, and they still have that dream. So I always looked at middle school as kind of where a kid may lose that sparkle, especially sixth grade. Oh my gosh, sixth grade is such a critical year. They come in, they're scared, they're full of hope, they're full of excitement, and you have to capture that, and you got to keep that thing going strong. Okay, so if I digress tonight, I just want you to understand one thing. It's all about being happy in life. Is about living that purpose. It's about having passion every day to get up and be proud of what you do and what you stand for and what you accomplish. Okay. And that could be any occupation, any walk of life, from anywhere in this world. I grew up in a really small, wonderful town called Prescott, Kansas. I love it so much. And our family operated grain elevator in Prescott and in the nearby town of Pleasanton. And growing up around these I tell people I grew up in a grain elevator. Basically that's part of my life. I loved it. It was everything I lived for. My dad was my best friend, and we worked together so many hours and worked so hard. And he taught me that, number one, you treat people right. My mom and dad always said, you treat people right. You treat people how you want to be treated. And that's number one thing. And number two, you work hard for what you believe in. And if you are trying to help people be successful, then you have to not let them down. And that was a big part of our livelihood. We help farmers and ranchers, feed their cattle and provided feed for them, and we had to make sure it happened. So I was with my dad a lot. He'd pick me up from school. We would work into the night all summer. I mean, it was just, I couldn't wait till 3 o'clock to get out of school. So, and I love school, don't get me wrong, but that was where I was supposed to be. I just felt like with my dad where I was supposed to be. But if I wasn't with my dad growing up, we lived out about 1.25 miles from the state line in Missouri in southeast Kansas. And I would go out in the backyard and I would visualize myself being at Mile High Stadium, crowd going about 90 decibels. And I was visualizing myself as John Elway. That's right. I said John Elway. In the late 80s, I was so excited about doing everything I could to be the next NFL great player. Now, I know you're laughing right now, because if you've ever seen me, I'm built more like a refrigerator than a John Elway. Let's just put it that way. All right, I'm more shaped like a block instead of a nice rectangle. But I didn't care back then. It was a dream, right? Because no one told me I couldn't. So that's what I dreamed I was going to be. And I would go and I just visualize all these plays and scenarios, and I'm out there orchestrating. I'm just all my imagination. Okay, it's all my imagination. And I was dreaming that I was driving the Broncos to a Super Bowl victory. But if you know anything about the 80s Broncos Super Bowl success, it was not very well. But you know what I rocked? I rocked this bad boy. This jersey my parents got for me is probably my most cherished things in my life. So look, I worked school probably about 2.5 days a week. So just use your math on that. But I have it's like a block schedule. I work 3 days one week and 2 days the next week, and then vice versa. I think this is a sloppy Joe stain from like 89 right here. This is like taco meat right here. I would never take it off, guys. I've tried washing, I tried washing it. The stuff is there. On the back, I was rocking the Epps from Shirt Shack right here. They put the Epps on the back, and it's just so amazing. And I'm so proud of this. I still break this jersey out and I wear it for the kids at school. And oh yes, I can still get it on, and it shows every curve in this body, this sexy body. And so, but bottom line is that I thought that I could make a positive difference in this world by being the next John Elway. That's how I seen it. Okay. And I thought this was the route that I had to take. Now I'm going to come back to that story in a second. Now, like I said, in 86, they lost to the Giants in a pretty good game. Phil Simms playing quarterback. In 88, they lost again. I'm sorry, 87, sorry. They lost to the Redskins in a blowout. It's a huge second quarter by Doug Williams, Hall of Fame type performance. 88, they didn't make it. Bengals went, lost to the 49ers. But in 89, this was their year. They were going to win in 89. They had everything. They had everything going their way. All they had to do is beat, defending Super Bowl champions, the 49ers. So I had this huge Super Bowl party where my bestest good friends would come over to my house. We lived out in the middle of nowhere. I mean, we lived in God's country, but man, it was remote. I mean, we had to drive about 4 or 5 miles of gravel to get not into a major paved road. I still a small paved road. But the point is that I had my best friends with me. We're going to celebrate a Broncos victory. It's going to be so awesome. Super Bowl 34. If you were there, it didn't turn out very well. The 49ers went on a run and just destroyed my Broncos in the first half. It was a blowout by halftime. And oh my gosh, the Denver Donkeys were getting lit up, and I was absolutely a wreck. I went full on pout mode. Now, I'm not saying I wasn't like a grown man at the time, but my gosh, I was better than that. And I went pout mode. I said, go home, get out of here, get out of my house. And my mom, I don't know, God bless Carolyn Epps, because I'm telling you right now, it was embarrassment to her, but she run them home at halftime. She took them because she didn't want them around me. I'm like, let's get these kids home. And I'm so sorry. I try to sometimes in my life I try to block that out. Like, did I really act that way? But I was not dealing very well with that whole loss. That's still this very day. That's why I will not watch a big game in a crowd. If I have to, I'm just so no. Like Super Bowl victory the Chiefs just had, just me and the kids, mainly me on TV by myself, and because I'm so terrified I'm gonna make a horse patoot out of myself, and my wife and my kids see me make a horse patoot out of myself every day, so it's what's new to them. So anyway, but we digress again. But the point is that I thought the only way I can make a difference in this world is by being an NFL football player. That was the route I had to take. And as I got older and I come more of a realization that no, I'm not going to be an NFL football player. I'm not going to don the green grasses of any other NFL stadium. It didn't mean my dream had to go away. Because it wasn't about being an NFL football player.
Power off.
That's just my butt speaker. Don't worry. It wasn't about being an NFL football player. That wasn't my dream. My dream was to make a difference. Making a difference is all about. Guys, you can't tie your dreams to tangible things sometimes. Okay? You can live your dream through many different types of vision, many different types of opportunities, situations. Don't tie things so tightly to one route. As you get older in life, no, it may not be what you visualized when you were little, but it doesn't matter. That part doesn't matter. What matters is that you're making a difference. And that dream can look so many different ways, and it can change his life. Now, I have another story about how I got an education. I'm not even gonna get started on that. That's a whole nother. But people made a difference in my life to help me get an education. But what I want to emphasize to you tonight is make sure that what makes you get excited, what fuels that passion to get up every day, you cherish that, you capture that, and you make sure that you let anybody take you away from that dream. Because guess what? My dream was really just to make a difference, make a positive difference. And I think in 20 years, over 20 years of education, I've done that. And I'm so proud of that. And I'm so proud to see, kids. I see kids now they're over 30, but it's all very special to me, and that's like my favorite part of education is just going back and not only serving the students and the teachers that I do now at Royster, but going back to Cassville, Missouri, or going and still connecting. I was not, me 5 years ago, I was a flip phone person. These iPhones are not going to hold up. And so basically I refused to get an iPhone. I can tell that story some other time too. But once I finally, and I didn't, once I had an iPhone for 3 years, and I still didn't have Facebook. I was a Twitter guy. I like Twitter. And I still do. I love Twitter. But the Facebook has allowed me to reconnect so much with past students, and I'm horrible at Messenger. So if you try to message me on Messenger, I'm horrible at that. But my main point is that I know that I have purpose. And as a result, it gets me so excited about getting out of bed every day and going out and seeing how much of a difference I can make in this world. So if there are things in your life like this, don't put them in storage. Put them where you can see them, where they're a daily reminder of that time area that you live, but no more importantly, about what it stood for. What it stood for. That's what it's all about. Guys, it's easy to lose our way sometimes. We can lose our way. Now, the other shirt I wore, this bad boy right here, a Royals 55, that's my brother's football number. I love 55 because of Matt Epps' football number right here. Now, I'm going to tell you this. As you go to bed, or if you're watching this during the day, or if you're in the classroom, it may be November and you're watching this in Mrs. Bogle's classroom or Mrs. Johnson's classroom. But I want to tell you this. Tell your dreams. Don't keep them in a closet. Share them and put people around you that give you energy, that support you, and good things will happen. All right, I'm going to be signing off. Now, here's a bonus part of this story that I have to tell. Everybody knows I'm a big Chiefs fan, and I want to make it very, very clear. I want to make it very clear that I love the Broncos through the late '80s, but the problem was, that I wrote fan letters to John Elway over and over again. I wrote all these fan letters, and he would never crack open summer. He would never. Having technical difficulty. I made it through this whole thing and not had a goof up, but made it through. There were all these letters to John Elway. Never wrote me back, so I didn't think he cared. Now that's pretty hard on John Elway. I'm sure he got fan letters from all over the place, but the point being is that
with the taste of freedom, but fertilizer's red.
Oh my gosh! All right, so there we go. He never wrote me back, and as a result, I stopped caring, and he stopped caring about me. So that drew me to the lights of Arrowhead Stadium for a Chiefs fan for life. Have a good night. Thanks for joining me tonight. I'm on a live stream, so I haven't been able to check my live feeds here. So I'll stay on for a few minutes and listen to Kenny Rogers. Peace and love, guys. Have a great night. Hope to see you soon. Right when the man's doing all that he planned, he thinks he's got just what he needs. Life will deliver the shot that will shiver. He's driving him down to his knees. Make him start living again. There's Hans. How you doing, Hans? Sorry I didn't see that earlier. The Chicago Bears are, oh my gosh, one of my dear family friends are Mr. Brian Campbell and Bradley Campbell and all the Campbell family. They're huge Bears fans, and so they feel your pain. They'll get it soon. They got Matt Nagy. All right. Thanks, Han. Thanks, Wayne. Thanks, Tass and Jesse. Thanks for everybody watching tonight. I'll put this back on the social media, put it out on YouTube. Have a great night. Much love. Have a great day and a great evening.